I was recently talking to a friend who was going away for a week, and they were saying about how they were going to struggle to pack everything they needed in a suitcase that was 25 kilograms. And I was thinking, if you were going away for 2 weeks, would that mean you needed 2 suitcases? And obviously their answer was no. So my next question was then, why couldn't you just half what you were taking and go hand luggage only rather than stressing about the suitcase? Going hand luggage only can have some benefits. So if you're typically used to booking package deals with an agent, you might not realise that some airlines actually charge you to put suitcases in the hold. It can also have other advantages in terms of time saved at the airport. For instance, when we went to Cape Verde, we went hand luggage only. And when we went through the airport, we walked straight into our taxi, didn't have to wait by that luggage carousel. And by the time we started recognising people from our flight who were getting to our hotel to check in, we were already in our second drink by the pool. It can also have other advantages if you're doing things like transiting through airports or moving around quite a lot on holiday, not having to take those big bulky cases with you. I'm filming this as we're packing for our trip to Malta. Now when we go to Malta, we're going for a week, but we're taking 3 hand luggages for the 4 of us in terms of clothes and things like that. This is so that the 4th hand luggage we take can carry things like the camera, microphone, and things that we use to make YouTube videos. So here are 7 tips for how to pack a little bit lighter to help you travel hand luggage only. So my first tip is to consider what kind of bag is right for where you're going to. So a hard shell case might be perfect for a short haul trip, for a fly and flop holiday down to the south of Spain. However, it might not be so good to zip around Phuket on a moped for 2 weeks. For that, you might want a backpack. So consider what type of bag might suit the kind of travel that you're doing. My second tip is to do a little bit of research on the airline that you're traveling with. Some airlines can have very tight restrictions on what hand luggage aren't allowed, and some can be quite underhanded in how they apply the charges. So make sure that if the specified dimensions online, that the bag definitely fits within those dimensions. Some airlines will not have fronts on the cages that they measure your bags in, so you need to make sure that it doesn't bulge out over any painted lines as well. For some airlines, this also includes the handles and wheels, and you can now get hand luggage only wheelie cases where the wheels can come off to help with this. My third tip is to think critically about what you want to take. So next time you go away, even if you're not hand luggage only, it might be worth making a list of what you do and don't use, because if you're taking stuff and find that you're not using it, next time you can just leave it at home. You can also be smart about what you actually wear on the aeroplane going through. For instance, if you have a pair, for instance, of really bulky shoes, this may sound like common sense, but a lot of people don't think about it. Wear your bulky shoes and pack your smaller shoes in a case. So if we were going hiking, I would wear my hiking boots and my comfy trainers would be in the case. If we were going somewhere where it's beachy, I would wear my trainers and have my flip-flops in the case. I wouldn't travel for comfort, I would travel for packing light. And if you're going really long haul, what you might find is some airlines might give you slippers anyway, so if you're wearing uncomfortable shoes, you can probably kick them off on the airplane and replace them with slippers that you're given. So thinking critically about my own outfits, what I would probably take for a week-long trip to somewhere like Malta where we're going next week is probably at least 2, possibly 3 pairs of jean shorts, 2 or 3 pairs of swim shorts. I would probably have a t-shirt for every day, but then I would only have maybe 3, 4 possibly shirts for an evening. And then if I need to, I can probably get the shirts washed, but you're not wearing them for long, so you can probably rewear them twice. If you need to, you could always rinse stuff off in the sink and hang it out to dry. And if you Google ahead, sometimes you can find local laundries where you can get your clothes laundered for relatively cheap, especially if you're somewhere long haul like Southeast Asia. It costs pennies compared to in the UK. Tip 4 is packing cubes like this one. So this one is a compression one, so it holds the clothes flat and it means that you can squeeze more into your case. Some will not have compression and will just allow you to sort of stack more neatly by creating sort of like set cuboid shapes. And some will be vacuum assisted, so you'll put all your clothes in and it'll be like almost like a Ziploc bag that you'll then either roll to squeeze the air out or have a little pump to squeeze the air out. And again, like this one, it'll bring that size down to help you pack more into your hand luggage. This cube here actually has all of Clara's clothes in for our week in Malta. And it's tiny. Tip 5 is probably one that's mainly for the ladies watching. Might help some men too though, and that is considering how you can condense some of your makeup down. When we first started traveling, my camera lady probably took an entire hand luggage's worth of makeup on her own just for that. But through experience, she's learned a few little tips and tricks that have helped bring it down. And one of them is this little pen here. So this actually has 4 different types of makeup in one on it. So it has eyeliner, it has a brow pencil, it has lip colour, and it has highlighter. And by having all of them in just this handy little pen, it drastically brings down what she needs to bring. Now, it does look a little bit funny when she's sat colouring her face with what looks like the pens that you used to use in primary school that had the different colour clicky tops, because that's essentially what it is. But it is a great way to reduce what you're bringing. Also, one of the main reasons we get stopped through security whenever we travel always used to be because of the makeup, because sometimes even the powdered makeup might read like liquids in the scanner. But condensing it down into this has made it a lot less likely that our hand luggage bags get stopped for the additional searches. So we're now at tip 6, and you might be wondering at this point, I've not mentioned suntan lotion. So what do we do in terms of suntan lotion when we're traveling hand luggage only? Now, this one is 75ml, so this could actually come through security, but we don't normally get ones this small. What we tend to do instead is do a click and collect order from the duty free in the airport. If, like us, you're from the UK, you'll be familiar with the store Boots, and with Boots, you can actually do a click and collect from airport duty frees, just like you would from any other normal high street store. This guarantees you'll have whatever brand and sun factor that you want when you go through, and it'll also typically work out cheaper than just buying all of your suntan lotion from the duty free without pre-booking it with a click and collect. However, we're flying from Edinburgh this time, and I think Boots are becoming a little bit wise to this. So for the first time, we've had an additional charge for click and collect from the airport. It's only about £3 or £4, so it's not bad at all. And for us, it's still worth doing so that we can fly hand luggage only. Tip 7, our final tip, is that most airlines, in addition to your hand luggage, will also allow a personal item. So this might be teddy bears for the kids, it might be handbags or cameras, things like that. For some people, they'll occasionally use things like this, which is a neck pillow for when you're on the airplane. Now, this one we got from Amazon, and it's a special one because this rolls out and has a removable insert. And what that removable insert means is you can fill it up with clothes. So if you've tried to pack hand luggage only and you can't quite fit everything in, what you could do is put a few t-shirts or something like that in a neck pillow like this one that's designed for it, and then get those extra clothes through hand luggage only. Now, I wouldn't put jeans or anything like that in because it'll become very uncomfortable, but for cotton t-shirts, it's fine. What you don't want to do with it is leave it on a seat, in a car, at the airport, in the UK, like I did when we went to Mallorca last year. Because what you might have to do then, if you forget this, if it's got all of your t-shirts in apart from the one that you're wearing, is go to a local store and buy a touristy t-shirt with the name of the location on. So these are great to a point, but if you have bad memory like me, just be careful. If you have any tips for traveling hand luggage only that we've not mentioned, we'd love to hear them below in the comments. So if you've enjoyed this video, or if you've not enjoyed it but still found it useful, please do consider hitting that like button, as it really helps small creators like us out. If you'd like to see more from our travels as well, please consider hitting subscribe. Our next video will be continuing our adventures in Goa, which I'll put here. And as I've mentioned it several times through the course of this video, when our Malta series begins, I will put the first video for that here. Thank you for watching. Bye now.